Warrior queen, ruthless leader, and animalistic fighter. These are all names that can be applied to the renowned British Celtic figure, Boudicca. She is best known for rousing her Iceni tribe and fellow British tribes into following her in a revolt against the Romans who controlled the island of Britain at the time. In doing so, Boudicca and her army nearly forced out approximately 70,000 Romans and their presence on the island, and truly showed that the Romans could not just do what they pleased without suffering the consequences.
In today's world, Boudicca is often looked at as a noble figure and a representation of standing up against unjust power. However, Boudicca did also have her shortcomings that should definitely be taken into consideration. From ruthlessly slaughtering thousands of largely innocent civilians to mercilessly burning down towns, the question certainly remains, was Boudicca a hero or a villain?
Boudicca was born in her tribe of Iceni, near modern-day Norfolk, around 30 AD, although the exact dates are unknown. She was raised during a period of great turmoil in her home, as in 43 AD, the Roman Empire, under the rule of Emperor Claudius, began their conquest of the island. They were ruthless in their domination and inflicted the deaths of thousands of Celtic Britons and the destruction of their homes. In Boudicca's home tribe of Iceni, however, the leader, King Prasutagus, Boudicca's husband, had struck up a cooperative relationship with the Romans. Due to this, the Iceni tribe was able to remain as one of the only free from Roman rule. The choice to spare the tribe by Nero indicates that Prasutagus was pro-Roman, and this idea is cemented when Prasutagus, in his will, left half of his money to Nero, the emperor at the time. The Romans then took their half, but decided they wanted to take the other one as well, this time by force. In the conquest, Boudicca was flogged by soldiers, and both of her daughters were captured and brutally raped. Now, Boudicca was seeking revenge.
Boudicca was able to raise and levy an incredible number of warriors from a country that was struggling at the time, with estimations starting somewhere close to 230,000 soldiers. This was an impressive feat. But outside of that, they had no backing from anyone else. This was due to inner conflict with a lot of tribes in Britain, as well as limited means of contact with mainland Europe, which meant that this was really just them against the Roman military machine. But even if mainland Europe could be contacted easily, it would still be no avail, as no nation at this time would dare cross the Roman Empire. However, they were fighting against the Roman Empire, which meant that effectively the entire known world at the time was either against the rebellion due to being part of the empire, or unable or unwilling to do anything about it in fear of the Romans.
First, some positive actions made by Boudicca. Boudicca and her armies were nearly able to drive the Romans out of Britain entirely. Nero, the emperor at the time, thought that the war was becoming too costly, and so they nearly fled the island. Boudicca provided the Britons with a source of hope in a time of oppression for the Britons. This paved the way for more uprisings that shook the stability of their persecutors. She showed that a woman had the ability to lead people and be successful at it, which was significant in a very sexist society. Seeing a woman so successfully lead hundreds of thousands of people perhaps had a greater impact on how women would be viewed later on than we realized. Her actions showed that Rome, while they controlled the area, they would never be able to control the people of Britain, and so they would never be able to maintain a firm hold over the island. This meant that the Romans would end up controlling the island for a much shorter time than they originally would have, as they didn't see it as worth it if there were Celts troubling them. Boudicca became a historical icon, representing fighting for a cause that you believe in, and how even the biggest underdog has a shot against global powers. This could have set examples for other nations later on down the line, and is a positive figure for today's society. Finally, her actions led to the documentation of what was a largely unreported time and place, and this has allowed for historians, millennia later, to learn about what happened there. This, although unintentional, was very beneficial to history.
However, Boudicca did have her shortcomings, such as, on her way down through Britain, Boudicca and her army caused the destruction of lots of Roman-built cities that housed lots of innocent civilians and helpful infrastructures. They killed thousands of people, and it was unclear what the proportions would have been, but certainly a large number of them would have been innocent civilians, rather than soldiers they were trying to kill. What Boudicca did could be seen as causing unnecessary trouble and problems in a country that has already been struggling, and it wasn't worth it realistically never had a chance of winning.
Today, Boudicca is seen as a fearless leader who fought against her oppressors, all of which is true, and they are actions that would be loved by most people. Society loves to support the underdog, and you don't get much more of an underdog than a British widow in 60 AD fighting against the Roman Empire. Probably the main reason behind the significance of Boudicca in today's world can be put down to the representation of her during the Elizabethan era in England. Queen Elizabeth I found out about Boudicca, and this led to a surge in her fame and popularity, which subsequently caused countless statues and other artifacts being made in her honour. Taking into consideration all the facts and events, we believe that Boudicca should continue to be viewed as a hero. Although she didn't necessarily achieve great success through her war, and that could have been seen as something against her, we believe she is a hero for the ideas that she represented. Boudicca stood up for her people and valiantly led them against the world-dominating power that so much of the world was conquered by. And although she did so in a ruthless way, that was how the Romans operated as well. They killed her tribe and raped her daughters, so wasn't what Boudicca did merely giving them a taste of their own medicine, so to speak? Also, lots of her shortcomings were things common to the time, like burning down cities in a war, and we believe Boudicca should be judged by how the world was 2 millennia ago, not how it is now. Boudicca's legacy still has a positive lasting impact on today's world, and because of this we believe history should view Boudicca as a hero.